Hello everyone, my name is Danuta Siemek and I'm the founder of the Anger and Substance Abuse Freedom Academy. I am also licensed chemical dependency counselor and certified anger resolution therapist. I bring into this video series over 21 years of my personal and professional experience. Welcome to the 6 segments video series all about anger, and I promise you that you're going to have many aha moments. I can only share what really motivated me to do this series and to make it available to all of you. It's actually encouragement from my clients. They find this information incredibly useful because it provides explanation, insight and understanding. And I'm not here to excuse any violent behavior. I'm here, however, to explain it. So if you find yourself in a situation that you might feel like you might be hurting someone, or you are in a situation that you might be receiving someone else's violent behavior, please get help. Because this video series, it's about teaching and coaching and providing understanding. It's not about really excusing any violent behavior. I've had people coming for over the years, seeking answers, seeking help, seeking some kind of explanation, saying, I don't want to be the mom who takes my anger on my children and they are being told that they're scared of me. I don't want to be that person who is acting out, yelling and screaming in a traffic jam. You know, many people probably are going to be late to work or wherever they're going that day, but I'm the one who cannot handle it. And perhaps I've been told that I'm emotionally immature, that I have very low frustration tolerance. Maybe you already been told that you've got a temper and do something about it. Maybe you hold high-powered position and your staff is actually relating to you as the manager with the temper issues, and they're probably quite intimidated by you. If you're any of those people, maybe you've been told that you've got you have to learn about emotional intelligence that's been introduced in 1995. So if you're really seeking any answers to this behavior that you really want to address and heal, this video series is for you, because I promise you, this is the long journey for me as well. People were seeking answers from me that I didn't have. In fact, initially when we started addressing issues with anger, it was all about releasing anger. It was all about kicking boxes and screaming your heart out and punching pillows. And you know, over the years we realized that that's not the way to go, because yes, you can become exhausted and you stop really screaming and punching and yelling and doing all of those things, because the anger seems to be, you know, have an escalation point. There will be a top point and then you go down like almost to withdrawals from it. But it doesn't really solve any issues, because in fact, if you're just fueling this anger through releasing it, it's like your angry episode, your violence episode are becoming closer and closer together. And then there's the whole school of thoughts about anger management, and I wholeheartedly believe I've seen it working for some people. You know, learning your triggers, learning your weak spots, learning what is going on when you're in a triggering situation, and you know, learning the escalating tactics. It works. It's not fully reliable, and you're going to find out why it's not, but it is, you know, helping to some people. Still doesn't explain it. It's not fully available, because I really remember one client. She was a female client, and she was describing this state when she was very angry, that she felt like a weapon. She felt like a missile. She was unstoppable, and she knew that her anger was controlling everything she did, said, and what happened after that. So, you know, anger is pretty toxic and pretty damaging to people around us, and also it's very damaging to ourselves. It's counterproductive to our own well-being and survival. You know, anger is about dominance. Anger is about intimidation, power and control. Anger is also about self-defense and self-protection. So anger is a very powerful emotion. You know, our behavior is motivated by 2 things really, and 2 things only. We're seeking pleasure and avoiding pain. seeking pleasure and avoiding pain. That's really it. It's very simple. So, you know, defining pleasure is another whole thing, because pleasure for one person could be meditating and doing yoga. For another person is to having loving, meaningful relationship with the family and friends. For someone else would be accumulating financial wealth. For someone else would be to take out some hobbies and, you know, hiking and climbing mountains. So there's so many different ways that we can define pleasure. And perhaps, maybe, I'm just saying, for a person with anger problem, pleasure would be to control other people, to intimidate other people, so they say and do what you want them to do. So being powerful and fully in control. So we think about anger as an emotion, as a feeling, and it is. It's an energy that is rushing through our system. Emotion, energy in motion. However, when we're in a state of anger, it's a lot, many other things, you know, come into play. In fact, when we're in a state of anger, we're activating other realms of our being. So there's this interplay between our physiology, so there's the biological changes in our body, in our brain. There is our cognition changes, so our thinking changes when we're in a state of anger, and also most possibly that our behavior changes also. You see, we say about anger and violence in the same sentence. We talk about anger and violence such as, oh, I got angry and I did this, and you made me mad, and I said that. You know, yes, you know, they do seem to be feeding each other, and, you know, high intensity of anger usually translates into some kind of action, but they are two different things. Anger is a feeling, it's an emotion. We all are capable of becoming angry, and very few of us engage in a violent action. I use violence to cover all kinds of behavior, you know, so I'm not going, because we've got so many different vocabulary about anger, being mad, being annoyed, being irritable. It's all anger-based, really, and same with the violent behavior. So for the simplicity of this series, I'm going to use anger and violence, you know, describing the emotional state and the behavior that is always relates to it. So thank you for watching my first video. And the next video we're going to cover what happens in our bodies. So we're going to talk about biology of anger, and we're also going to talk about cognition. Thank you for watching. See you in video number 2.